Good morning, starshine.
Welcome to the real world. Mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with breathe air. There's no second best, okay?
GM, Thursday, 22nd of August, trade of the day. And today, honestly, I think it probably just goes up. And there's a couple, I have a trade here that invalidation may be too tight on, but getting back above the value area after losing it. So breaking above it, flushing below it, reclaiming it quickly and holding. Especially coupled with what happened over here. This seems like a pretty simple stop run, leverage, over leveraged, moon boy apes flushed out, open interest reset to a higher level. So it's giving a pattern here that it seems like open interest is building and building and building. I think that that's a really clear sign that this wants to go higher. I don't think it needs to be, I'll refresh that. I don't think or know how much higher it goes beyond the main highs, but I think it does get to them. So I think we get to these highs. I actually think we get there pretty easily. Now, in terms of actually trading it, I'll probably wait for a lower time frame trigger because that is, I think this is my low here for looking at the 1 hour chart. I'm looking at this low here as a structure level that I think price shouldn't go below if I'm going to try and trade this into the highs. And if I zoom back out then and we look at this as my eventual target, because I see all this build up of open interest, this pattern of pumping it up, running it down, pumping it up, running it down, that's typically being used to push the market and continue in that direction. It doesn't mean we're going to have a big breakout to 65 or 70k, but I do think it means it's hunting this liquidity. Right? That would be my expectation. When the open interest comes back down and resets and it keeps building and building, right? It keeps holding and holding, even though price keeps spiking and spiking. It clearly means it wants to go higher. So it's either going to go to 61.8 and crash or 62.8. So, and also, of course, there could just be a valid breakout. But regardless, I want to see some signs here of price holding. And I think that to me would be, it would need to make a new high above here and ideally hold in this level where we're at right now. Potentially it could sweep down into this low here, hold, come up and break above. And I think if there's a valid breakout out of that point, I'll probably be looking at getting a long on a breakout there, stop below there just to avoid any wicks. Stops probably even being too tight with that for a day trade. But I'm aware, as you can see here and as you can see on these spikes, there's a lot of leverage chasing these moves. And so if it breaks out from there, I wouldn't be surprised to see it go higher and then spike down like that and still make its way there. So I don't want to get caught on any scam wicks. And that's not, so overall that's not triggered yet, right? So I won't get long here. It makes absolutely zero sense to get long here. Because my belief with the way this open interest is moving is running it up, flushing out the late longs, build it back up again, and that's all because it's trying to get to somewhere with higher liquidity, which I think is going to be 62.8. That's the most obvious level, right? That's where all these stops would be resting. And so it's pure momentum. I think it gets there. I don't know if it gets there today or not. Just like last night, it had a good chance of getting there, but it stopped. So you can only ride the momentum. And there is no momentum here yet. It's consolidating. If I start to see momentum building, I'll try and follow that trade up to that level. It could be today because we've got the Fed, well, not the Fed only, but Jackson Hole, which is the first day of Jackson Hole. Here you go. You can read about it here. Economic Policy Symposium held by central bankers, finance ministers from all over the world. So that'll be a big one. I think it's tomorrow Powell speaks though. Yeah, tomorrow Powell speaks about it. I don't know how much will come out of Jackson Hole today. There is some economic data today at 12:30 unemployment claims and at 1:45 PMIs. So this move, if we get one, might happen in the New York session. I mean, now we're sitting where? We're at 9 a.m. So 10, 11, 12, 1, 4.5 hours. 4.5 hours until this opens. Yeah, we'll see. We might get the move beforehand because we had a bullish close yesterday. And it closed right near the highs. So this is where the New York close was, and it's been down only ever since, which can be a bullish thing, right? You close the New York session very strong, then you spend the overnight just flushing out the late longs, and then so we should be back at 61.8 if you're just going to be opening the New York session without a gap. So it grinding up and trending up towards New York makes complete sense as well. And I think at that point it should be just a easy kick for it to get to 62.8, but you never know. So if there's momentum there, I'll trade it. If not, we'll not. And that's it. GM.